Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Off Limits. Our guest this time is John Brittas, who you know who's been in the news recently. He's a Rajya Sabha MP. He is a member of the CPIM and he was former chief editor of Kerala Media. So welcome, John. It's good to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you, Seema ji.
Seema will do. But
Yeah.
anyways, but tell me, this article that you wrote, obviously everybody was talking about it and is still actually talking about it. I was reminded about 2 years ago or something when you, was it just 2 years ago, when you made your maiden speech and Venkaiah Naidu was in the chair and he said something about what a great speech you had made, and he even said that he was not very happy that the media did not cover it. So that was another time, or was it another person?
Actually, now we can see what sort of transformation is happening to the Indian society and Indian polity.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful to you for reminding me about my maiden speech and the approach of the then Vice President of India. Now,
Right.
see, the country has further drifted, I would say that. The situation has worsened, where the tolerance level has completely got dried up. I won't say that somebody is responsible or somebody is not responsible, but this is a fact concerning this country. And
Right.
the other day only, the media, the Freedom of Media Index has come out, where India has further slipped on that. So this is all manifestation of what is happening in this country. And as regards this article, I would say that this was a normal article which was published in Indian Express. And to be precise, Indian Express editorial team wanted me to write an article on it because it was a controversy in Kerala, because Honorable Home Minister makes such cryptic comments while campaigning in Karnataka,
Right.
where he said that, see, you need to vote BJP. You can't afford to, have the defeat of BJP because Kerala is quite close by. Hear you. That is roughly the translation. Then he said, I don't want to say further. So that pose and what is his style of, pronouncing Kerala and putting a question mark, anybody who is sensible can understand that the Honorable Home Minister, who is supposed to be in charge or the custodian of the integrity, unity of this country, is making such slanderous remarks against Kerala, and it's not for the first time. And I would say, as somebody from Kerala and as somebody who represents Kerala in the upper house, council states, Kerala is not Pakistan. It's not an enemy country. It's a very peaceful patch of land. And we are proud of the fact that all social indices that has been doled out by the central government or the union government puts Kerala ahead of many of the states. So, in fact, the Home Minister should have told the people in Karnataka, you should be happy that you have a neighbor like Kerala. Because such a peaceful state is.
So a lot of, I think even you said it and other MPs also spoke of it as censorship. Do you think it was, just by being summoned, did you get a feeling that it was to basically tell you not to write more such articles, or what was the purpose of summoning you?
Let me be very candid, because I won't use this strong word like summon. I was formally asked by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat to meet the Honorable Chairman with regard to this complaint that was lodged with him. That's very correct. That's absolutely correct. And I diligently, presented myself before the Honorable Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. And in that meeting, I don't have any hesitation to say that, in that meeting, this complaint filed by the functionary of the BJP was referred to. Then I told him, sir, this is part of my fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression. And as a legal luminary, you should be aware of the fundamental right that is enshrined in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Further, he wanted me to, conclusively respond to the complaint. Then I requested for a copy of the complaint, which he was kind enough to, hand it over. And things stand there. I haven't applied my mind further. And in the meantime, the stories broke out with regard to me being summoned, etc. But the meeting was very cordial, and he was very courteous, and he estimated all the niceties that is to be given to a junior colleague of him. But one thing baffles me is that, see, this is a time when the union government files an affidavit to the Supreme Court saying that this sedition, so-called inverted comma, is in the advanced stage of review. And the Supreme Court also has many a time said that this thing is anachronistic and doesn't fit with the democratic process which we have set in. It's an archaic one, British legacy.
Right.
At this juncture, a ruling party functionary had the audacity to charge sedition on me just for writing an article. So this is the mindset of those people who are ruling us.
So it's very interesting, why I want to jump in here is because you've also been a journalist and have had a long innings there. It's sort of interesting how defamation, at the most, somebody can say if you're writing against, I feel hurt and I feel something, I can say that it's defamation, though this probably doesn't even stand up there. How it is being now sort of brought under the wrap or under the cover of sedition. So you're constantly using the word sedition. They're using the word sedition as when the word could have been, or at the most, defamation, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they could have attributed, say, defamatory remarks on the Home Minister, and they could have approached a court. They could have approached a court. But see, the scheme is such as the highest constitutional positions are being dragged into for parochial political interests. Yeah. That is first. Second thing is that I feel that this was not to give a inverted comma show cause to me. This was actually to give a show cause notice to the media. So, you are not supposed to publish critical pieces with regard to, at least a few figures in this government. Already the news pages have been completely converted to, eulogies of this government. Now, even the open-ed pages or the opinion pages, even there, you cannot publish even an item which is critical of the comments of the higher functionary of this government. So, I feel that it is not targeted at me. It's targeted at the media as such. Because already, most of the media have caved in. Now, even if there is something which is remaining there, even maybe a couple of pages which are not absolutely in tune with the inclination of the ruling party, that also needs to be completely bombarded. So I feel that maybe my shoulder was being used to fire at the
actually at the messenger itself. At the person who facilitated the message from you. But for a long time, you've been around now in public life, earlier as a media person also, we are in public life in that sense, where there has always been a certain intolerance in our system against free and independent media. State governments have shown it. I'm not talking of the emergency, I'm talking of much post the emergency. And governments have squabbled with journalists who are writing, even if they're writing against the government or they are being openly biased for one party against another party. Even so, there's always been this level of intolerance. So when we are talking about it today, and we are talking of intolerance, and we are talking of the kind of the message that you got from the speaker, from the chairperson of the House, are we talking of really very, very different circumstances? Or is it just something that we didn't speak up about as we should have over the years and defended the independence of the media and ethics and responsibilities very clearly, because of which now we are paying this price? Or do you think this would have happened anyways? That's the nature of the beast.
You know that you are a very seasoned and senior journalist. You have been seeing things from the capital city, and the so-called phrase used by L.K. Advani in connection with the character of the media during the emergency.
Yes.
They are asked to bend and they
crawl.
knelt down. Yeah, they crawl. So if that was something which was harped on by a lot of us, but what should we say about the present juncture? That is something, but nobody discuss about it. And look, from Delhi, you have been seeing things. I also have seen things. Have you ever seen an investigative story in any of the media, either television or print in Delhi for last many years? That could be one reason why the former Chief Justice of this country, Justice N.V. Ramana, said that the so-called investigative journalism in this country has ended. Khatam ho gaya. He said it. So if a Chief Justice was provoked to say, make such a statement, you can very well understand what has happened to the media. I always relish the media. I mean, I'm talking about the late 80s and 90s. Even when Rajiv Gandhi had, say, 3/4 majority in Lok Sabha, see the number of scandals which were brought out by the media. And
Absolutely.
there was a jugalbandi between, I would say, the second pillar and the last pillar, that is a fourth pillar. So all these exposes in the media used to resonate on the floor of the House in Parliament, which used to, lead to, I would say, hectic discussions and maybe investigations, maybe pronouncement by the ministers, statements, explanations. Have you seen anything like that for last several years in Delhi or in India? And I would say the investigative journalism now has become an interview of a minister. That is investigative journalism that is happening in.
Yeah.
There is a stiff competition among the journalists to get an interview of a senior minister.
All VIP oriented, yeah.
Yeah, I know that last 1 or 2 weeks, the biggest issue in Delhi media, who will get the interview of the Home Minister first? Who will be considered second? I know that. I'm privy to that because I've been interacting with a few journalists, and they were all vying to have the first interview or second interview. Is this a journalism which we envisaged? Is this a journalism which India has groomed? So I would say
it's gone down. Yeah,
it has gone completely devastated. I would say,
yeah,
completely devastated.
yes.
I don't know how it could be rebuilt. I don't know.
Right. You've also said in connection with this controversy around your article that it's also that the institutions have been compromised continuously, and they're being used for petty political ends is something that what you said. So the media is, of course, one part of it, and the media is also being hit by the fact that the other institutions are also crumbling. So
absolutely correct.
It has a snowball kind of effect on each other.
Yeah. It's a percolating effect, actually.
Yeah.
Media has caved in on 2 counts. One is that most of the media organizations are corporate entities, which you know and I know.
Of course.
And earlier, other dispensations, I won't say Congress or UP or a National Front, they were much more benevolent. They would not have gone to that, I would say, the last mile, where I would say, suppose a media organization's capital, where does the capital of this media organization used to come from? That would not have happened. Now, simply, the moment something comes in the media which is not very palatable to the ruling party, the promoter or the corporate entity which hosts that media organization has to bear the brunt of that.
Right.
That is something. So, and you know how investigative central agencies have been unleashed to on organizations, media organization, whenever some unpleasant news reportage come on those media. So that is one aspect. Second aspect is that there has been a looming crisis for this media. I would say the present market situation is not very conducive for the media because of the proliferation of different other verticals and other crisis situations. Third is that, as you said, that there are no institutional backup for this media. to rely on. You don't have the parliament. You don't have a parliament committee to rely on. You don't have press council. I don't know what is press council now. You don't have the courts to approach. Which court is going to give you justice? And see, our faith is completely crumbled. So this, I would say, this multi-level decadence that has happened. I mean, an average journalist has lost the fire in the underbelly to come out any investigative stuff. And if
your own organizations do not support you, so if you fall foul of a government or of an entity or a corporate entity, you're out on the roads. So so when we're talking of the media, there's of course films, which is a big time media, which is also coming out now with all kinds of things. And right now we are talking of the Kerala story. I mean, and about 32,000 women who were sent off to ISI camps. And subsequently, I think the filmmakers themselves said that they're talking of 3 and not 32 or 33,000. What do you make of this entire propaganda? It fits it into a propaganda against Kerala or what?
There is a massive propaganda that is undertaken to tarnish a state like Kerala, just because we have been caved into the ideological dominance of the ruling party. Simple as that. So I spoke in Rajya Sabha saying that if a particular government doesn't toe your line, you either disrupt it, defame it, or dislodge it. These 3 Ds are involved. In Kerala, you are unable to buy the lawmakers to a side because we don't have such a market situation in Kerala whereby you can have a wholesale or a retail deal of legislators. So you can't dislodge the government. Then comes the disruption. Disruption part, they are doing it through the institutions like governor, etc. But even that doesn't, do much, help them. Then there comes to the 3rd D, that is defeat. And I would tell you one thing, this is a constant bombardment that has been happening from the highest levels. There was an occasion when Kerala was depicted as Somalia. A chief minister of a state even made pronouncement saying that if at all you don't vote us to power, you will become Kerala. What is Kerala actually? The people should be happy that we see a state in North India becomes Kerala. And 3rd, the controversial so-called inverted comma, the article which was based on the statement of the Honorable Home Minister. And culturally, they want to, defame Kerala. This so-called Kerala true story, I would say, a small anecdote that has happened. The other day, the famous musician, composer, A.R. Rahman, posted in his social media account the actual true story of Kerala, whereby a Hindu woman's marriage was celebrated in a mosque in Alleppey. And this is a true story with regard to Kerala. And you know the extent of hatred that has been whipped up against him. So this is the true story. And I don't want to mention about these filmmakers. They pretend to be like Steven Spielberg. I don't know what they are. And see, this 32,000, interestingly, my only submission is that they should rely on the data provided by the judiciary and by their own government in Delhi. There was a specific question asked to the Home Minister. Are there instances of love jihad and mass conversions in Kerala or anywhere in the country? No. There was a explicit reply which came from the Minister of State of Home Affairs, which said that there is nothing called love jihad. Only 2 instances of interreligious conversion or marriage, except marriage, was being taken up for investigation by NIA. This is the actual fact. Now 32,000. Just because the Malayalis, fought against it, so they have brought down to 3. This 3 should be numerically less than the so-called numbers which would be applicable to other states which are being ruled by BJP.
Right.
So they should say the true story of UP. the true story of Madhya Pradesh, true story of Delhi. They should say that.
Right.
True story of Kerala, as I said, A.R. Rahman has posted, that is the true story of Kerala.
So there are some odd voices that you keep seeing on the social media, which is not, of course, the official position, but about banning a film like this. Are you guys in favor of a ban, or do you think you should just let it be?
No, per se, look, I had the opportunity to bring to the notice of the Honorable Home Minister with regard to the teaser of this movie, maybe 2 or 3 months back. If you can check my Twitter account, you will see that. I wrote a letter to Amit Shah ji and also to Anurag Thakur ji with regard to the so-called teaser that has come up with regard to this Kerala story thing. We haven't asked for a ban. We haven't asked for a ban. And I don't think per se a ban is an answer to all these so-called things which are being played out. But there are enough, I would say, methods to ensure that this is a figment of, somebody's imagination. See, you know what has happened to a movie called Pathan when some saffron costume was displayed. What sort of, hangama happened in this country. The poor guys had to call up the chief ministers of different states to ensure a screen. I can ensure you that nothing will happen in Kerala. They can come and screen it and go. No, peaceful state. We are not like their state. We will not create any problem for them. But there are numerous methods of, showing that this is a fiction. There could be a disclaimer and their propaganda or the posting some social media account. Their all these things should be chiseled in such a way that this should not be depicted as a real story. I will tell you one thing. Now they are saying that it is 3. You just go back to 2018. This same gentleman came up with a 52-minute documentary. And this 32,000 numbers was derived from this documentary, which was released in 2018. In that documentary, this gentleman says that from 2009 onwards, 32,000 women have been, you know that, what happened?
Yeah.
They have been sent to Syria, Afghanistan, and conversion has happened. And this 32,000, I will tell you, he derived this number, say, from Kerala, 17,000 Hindu Christian, from Mangalore side, Mangalore because it's, close to Kerala, 15,000. That is his 32,000 key. Has he ever taken it back? It is still there. So this fiction which was brought in with the support of the Sangh Parivar, people, this 32,000 was retained only because there was stiff resistance and fight against that. They have toned it to 3. And from 32,000, it comes to 3. You can very well imagine what was the extent of lies these people spread. So the reality and the way in which they campaigned, the distance between that, it can be gauged between what has happened between 32,000 and 3.
Now this. Right. So as a last question, which is sort of a generic question, but at the same time, I think a little political, is that how is it that Kerala is been able to, and of course there's Tamil Nadu too, but Kerala has been able to withstand or stop the spread of the Bharatiya Janata Party? Why doesn't this party, which is such an appeal in states in the north, not have any appeal in Kerala?
Simple. We are educated and there is literacy, there is awareness. These 3 things are there. We can see through these diabolic games. And if you educate people, if you give them awareness, this so-called, I would say, darkness can be obliterated to a certain extent. Kerala has been successful in countering these darker forces because we have absolutely informed the people what's happening. And people, I would say one more thing. 1 among 4 Keralites, strictly speaking, 1 among 3.5 Malayalis travels. They go abroad or go out of the state. So they know what is experience outside. They know what is the experience they enjoy here. There has been no instance of communal catastrophe, communal clashes here in Kerala. There could be one or two small aberrations which would have happened, say, 2 decades or 3 decades because of their involvement. But by and large, the state has been very peaceful. And see, the way in which the communal amity, communal harmony is maintained, there is no distinction between a Muslim, Christian, or a Hindu here. We all, collaborate and move together. And 3.5 crore people, 35 million people, moving together is something, I would say, a miracle in the world. That's why Dr. Amartya Sen said that Kerala has got a distinct culture, which should be a model for the entire world.
Right. Thank you so much, John. Thank you for giving this time.
Thank you very much.